everyone, it's Haley, and today I'm doing a January book haul. So I have over 30 books to talk about today. Yeah, some of these are bought in December, some of them are gifts, and some of them I just bought because I can't stop myself. But this month is the first month that I'm going to be enacting my read 2 books, then you can buy 1 book kind of rule thing. Thank you to whoever gave me that idea. I don't remember who it is right now, but someone commented on one of my videos giving me that idea, and I thought it was a good idea, so I'm gonna do it. So yeah, I have over 30 books to talk about, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on each of them since there are so many, but let's get into it. So I'm going to start with the gifts, and these first 2 are from one of my best friends, Rebecca. So the first one is The Shock of the Fall by Nathan Filer. I'm so excited to have this book. It's an adult contemporary that kind of deals with mental illness and stuff like that. I've heard fantastic things and I cannot wait to get into it. And then she also got me this really cool, it's not a reading book, but it's still super cool. It is called Literary Listography, My Reading Life in Lists. So this is basically like Goodreads Listopia, but in physical form. It's really, really cool. It has like, here we have fantasy and magical realism books that I recommend, and then you can write down some, and then they have a little picture, and their example is Jan Martel's Life of Pi. I hate Life of Pi, but that's their example, and they have little drawings like that throughout. I just really, really love this. It is so cool. Thank you so much, Rebecca. Next, I have Nightblade by Garrett Robinson. I was sent this by the author who is also the publisher, and I'm super excited to read this. It's a YA fantasy. I believe it's about a girl who runs away from home to be a thief. It sounds super interesting. It has really good ratings on Amazon, so I'm really excited for this, and thank you so much for sending it to me. Next, I have a couple of books from my mom. This first one is a Christmas present that came in late, and that is the Heroes of Olympus box set by Rick Riordan. So this is, yeah, I'm not going to take them out, but it's The Lost Hero, The Son of Neptune, The Mark of Athena, The Blood of Olympus, and The House of Hades. And these are kind of like a companion to the Percy Jackson series. They take place like a couple months or weeks after the events of The Last Olympian, which is the last book in the Percy Jackson series. And I've just heard fantastic things about this series. It's going to be really interesting to kind of follow Percy when he's older, and I'm really excited for that because they'll be like closer to my age. And yeah, I believe these combine Greek and Roman mythology. I know they combine 2 mythologies, which I think is really cool, so I'm excited. And my mom also just randomly brought home Emerald Green by Kirsten Gier. She has read the Ruby Red trilogy. I lent the first 2 books to her. I've only read the first one, and I didn't own this one yet, and she wanted to finish the trilogy, so she went out and bought it, and she said that I could keep it after she was done with it. So yeah, thanks, Mom. So next I have a few used books. The first one is Born Wicked by Jessica Spotswood. I got this and then it showed up on Book Outlet. I was not happy, but anyways, yeah, I am super excited for this book. I got it specifically for this cover because I think this cover is gorgeous. It's a historical fiction about witches, and I haven't read one of those before, so I'm excited. Next I got Venom by Fiona Paul. This is actually an ARC copy that they sent me. I wasn't expecting that, but whatever, it's still the book. I wanted this cover, which is why I had searched for that ISBN, and they ended up sending me an ARC, but I'm excited for this book. It's a historical fiction that takes place in Venice during the Renaissance. It sounds awesome, and I'm excited. Next is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson, book 1 of the Mistborn trilogy. I'm super excited to have this book. I was going to read it last month, but I kind of ran out of time. It's a huge book, so I want to take my time with it. I have heard nothing but great things. Like, I don't think I've heard 1 bad review. It just seems like such a great fantasy series, and I am so excited. Now I'm going to get into the books that I got from Amazon. So the first one is Splintered by A.G. Howard. This is actually the book I'm currently reading. I'm about like 112 pages in, and it's pretty good so far. There are some things that I like, some things that I don't like so much. It's really not what I was expecting. I'm not really sure where the story is going to go, but I'm pretty interested. Yeah, it has a really nice cover and just love it. If you guys didn't know, this is a retelling of Alice in Wonderland, and I just love Lewis Carroll's writing, so I'm expecting this to be just whimsical and very fantastical, and I'm excited to see if that's the route it's going to take. Next, I got Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. I'm so excited to have this book because, yes, this is the second book in the Throne of Glass series. I read the first one last year and I loved it, so I am more than ready to continue with the series. I've just heard that it keeps getting better, and I can't imagine it getting any better than Throne of Glass, so I'm so excited for this book. Next is The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson. This is her first book. I have her second one, I'll Give You the Sun, which actually it was just announced today that it's the winner of the Prince Award, which is really exciting. So congratulations, Jandy Nelson. I'm really excited to start reading her books. I haven't read them before, but they seem really great. This is about a girl who, from the synopsis, it seems like her sister just died and she kind of finds herself caught in this love triangle. That's probably a really bad description, but I'm interested to see what it's about. Next is Angel Fall by Susan E. I actually already read this book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was pretty good. It's basically an apocalyptic angel story, and it was a really interesting concept. It was just kind of too gruesome at times for me. I had a couple of other issues, but yeah, it was pretty good. So now I have a few books that I got at Chapters. The first one is In the Shadow of Blackbirds by Kat Winters. I have no idea what this book is about. I know it's a historical fiction, and I know in the synopsis it mentions Mary Shelley, but I really don't know what it's about. I've just heard really great things. I've heard about this from Reagan at Peruse Project, and I've just heard it's great, so I'm excited. Next, I got Vampire Academy, the first book in the Vampire Academy series by Richelle Mead. I haven't read this series, but it seems like everyone has and everyone loves it, so I'm excited for it. I haven't read a vampire book since Twilight, so I think it's high time that I do. Next is The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater. I've heard really good things about this book, and it seemed it won something with the Prince Award. It's a Prince Award honor book. I remember one of my high school English teachers talking about this book as well, and she really enjoyed it and said it had something to do with mythology, so I'm really interested in this and I hope it's good. Next is Fallen Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. The third book in this series, Gathering Darkness, just came out recently, and since then I've just been hearing non-stop about this series, so I figured it was high time that I found out what all the hype was about, so I went ahead and got myself a copy of the first book. I don't really know what it's about, I just know it's a fantasy series, and that's all I need to know. Next is The Archive by Victoria Schwab. I have wanted to read this book since I first started BookTube. I just felt like it seemed so interesting, and now I finally own it, so I have no more excuses. It's basically about this girl who is the keeper of this place where they store the dead in like these archives, so they're stored like books would be stored on a shelf in a library. It just sounds so interesting to me, and I'm super excited to read it. And you guys have been asking a lot why some of my books have red dots on the spine, and that is because those are all the books that I haven't read yet. It just kind of helps me to visualize rather than having a separate TBR shelf. So yeah, there's your answer. Next is All the Right Places by Jennifer Niven. I am so excited for this book. I have heard fantastic things about it. Everyone has been going crazy over this book lately, and now I finally own it, and I'm so excited to read it. I literally cannot wait. Next is another new release, and that is Fairest by Marissa Meyer. This is a prequel novella, I think it's a novella, to the Lunar Chronicles series centering around Queen Levana, and I believe it takes place when she's like 16 or something like that. I'm not positive on that, but I'm super excited to find out more about Queen Levana because she's a pretty badass villain, so I'm excited. Next is The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simons. I have heard fantastic things about this book. It is a World War II historical fiction. I believe it's an adult book. I'm not positive. It has such a pretty cover, and I'm just really excited. It's a huge book though. Like, it has like Bible pages. So I'm gonna need to take my time with this, but that's fine. It'll be worth it. So now this last pile is books that I got from Book Outlet. So they have had great books on their site lately. Definitely recommend going and checking it out because they have literally just had fantastic books. So yeah, made a couple orders. I really shouldn't have, but I did. So the first book is Bloodlines by Richelle Mead. This is the companion series to the Vampire Academy series, and I haven't read Vampire Academy yet, obviously, if you remember I said before, but I figured I would scoop this up while it was still on Book Outlet, so I just have it now, yeah. And along with that, I also got Last Sacrifice by Richelle Mead. This is the final book in the Vampire Academy series. I'm just kind of slowly collecting them when they show up on Book Outlet, so then I'll eventually have them all. Next is Phoenix by Elizabeth Richards. This is the second book in the Black City trilogy. I own the first book, but I haven't started it yet, but I just love the covers to the series, and I'm really excited to get into them. They're dystopians, but they sound pretty different than the typical dystopian, so hopefully they end up being quite unique because dystopians get very repetitive. And yeah, I'm excited. Next, I got books 2 and 3 of the Chaos Walking trilogy by Patrick Ness. So book 2 is The Ask and the Answer, and book 3 is Monsters of Men. I'm super excited to start this series. I believe it's a sci-fi dystopian, and I've just heard such amazing things, so I'm super pumped. Next is Anne of Avonlea by Lm Montgomery. If you watched my January wrap-up, then you know that I recently read Anne of Green Gables and absolutely loved it. So this is the second book in the series, and I want to find out what happens next, so I figured I would scoop it up while it was on Book Outlet. Next is Shades of Earth by Beth Revis. This is the final book in the Across the Universe trilogy. I haven't started that trilogy yet, but I've just heard that it's really amazing, and I'm hoping to get more into sci-fi this year, so I figured this getting the whole trilogy and marathoning it might be a good place to start. So I'm hoping I like it since I have all the books. But yeah, I just couldn't resist. I mean, this book was $4.99 for the hardcover, and yeah, I had to get it. I just had to. Next is Landline by Rainbow Burwell. I was so excited to see this book on Book Outlet. This is Rainbow Burwell's most recent book. It's her adult book. I believe it's her second one because I think Attachments, which is her first novel, was an adult book. I'm not positive on that though. I have read her 2 YA books and I haven't read any of her adult ones, but I'm super excited to read them because I really, really love Rainbow Burwell, and yeah, I'm excited. And the last book I got is Wonder by R.J. Palacio. This is actually the collector's edition of it, but it was on Book Outlet, and I was super excited because I've been wanting to read this book. It's a middle grade contemporary, but I've just heard nothing but great things, so I'm super excited. So that is all for my huge book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed. Next month's book haul is not going to be nearly as big because 0 by 16, okay? Hashtag 0 by 16. I just need to do it. I need to do it. So I'm going to stop buying as many books. This is going to be the last big book haul. I promise. I promise. So yeah, hope you guys liked it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!